Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special review. This is
Very special.
just an audio review for the YouTube and Facebookers. Dylan has my tripod, so there's no way of physically recording this. So you'll get it. It'll just be a picture of something and just audio.
We can take a selfie.
We could take. Yeah, exactly. What? Do I got a nickname here?
Oh, I didn't even think of one.
I'm the fictional character, Tristan. I keep looking where the camera is. I'm the fictional character,
It's a
Tristan.
good habit. You don't want to,
is.
if the camera's there, you don't want to not look at
Yeah.
it, right? So, I am the shit going sideways, Kirklin and Travis.
There you go. I remember on that After 9 we did when the camera was moved and you waved too.
Yeah.
And, it's not there. Well, it's so funny when we started podcasting because we used to just have the mic in the middle of us and there was no table. We just sat around the mic. I remember how much of a change it was once the camera there and we sat, and then now it's the reverse where now it's just a mic. I'm like, I don't know what to do, what I do. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a triple front. I keep looking
your body's squaring up to the camera too.
This is a triple frontier review on Netflix's original film by well, it's not by Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck's in it. You got Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, I think I was saying his name, and Pedro Pascal. So this is just gonna be a review. Any plugs? We got a big newscast dropping. We got Endgame to talk about. We got James Gunn back. So we got tons to talk about there. I can officially announce, we'll be doing the big announcement on Geek News, but March 30th is when Geek vs. Gauntlet is back. That's when the first event is going to air. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the matches yet, but Kirkland and I are participating in the show. So like we said, Gauntlet is going to be now a big event. So there'll be a video. I think the first video is about an hour and a half, but it's 2 matches combined instead of 1 match here, 1 match there. So that's coming back. We'll get more details into that. And then April, I think it's 7th, we're doing a watch-along. Speaking of Kirkland Pats, we're doing a watch-along WrestleMania again, the 3rd time, and Kirkland's going to join us.
I'm excited,
because you caught some wrestling.
I'm excited, I dabbled in a little bit of wrestling this year, so it got my excitement levels up.
Batista's wrestling.
That's actually awesome.
Ronda Rousey's main eventing, so it should be a good time. But yeah, I want to know, did you have a good time with Triple Frontier? Because what we're going to do is a non-spoilers, and then we'll do spoilers. I don't have too much to say in spoilers, but just like a few notes I want to... So we'll give you the 3, 2, 1, but I think those will be pretty quick, succinct, like, should you watch the movie, should you not? Yeah. And what did you think about this movie?
It's funny, because I was talking to a couple buddies at work about it, and I feel like everyone is just, like, on different spectrum levels for this movie. Like, for me, I feel like, overall, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I thought it wasn't anything, like, too crazy, like, nothing mind-blowing, but... kind of like what you mentioned on your Facebook review, your little short one.
Or you can follow me on Twitter. Facebook is private, but Twitter is public for all the fans.
There you go, for all the fans. Yeah. But no, I thought if you like that type of genre, which I really do, it's just like it's a great cast. I thought that they had good chemistry between each other. I thought they had good chemistry. I thought they had. It wasn't all, like a lot of humor in there, but they had a couple of like little one-liners. I don't know, it just felt like a
tension breakers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I appreciated that, and then I don't know. I just like crime, like bank heist type movies, kind of like an Ocean's feel. You know, like they set up a plan and then seeing it come together or not come together. So I liked it. The cast was really big for me. It was a little stale, like at certain points. Like I don't know. I just thought it was pretty basic and like plain.
Yeah.
Like. I was expecting things to happen to kind of like make it like a change, and then it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, this is kind of like straightforward. But in the spoilers, I'll kind of go into more of that because there was a couple scenes that I kind of wasn't expecting, but it wasn't anything too mind blowing.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it to friends.
Yeah, I think to me a heist film and one of my have you ever seen Heat?
Yes.
You should see. Yeah, that's one of my favorite films. Yeah. That I think is the quintessential like. You can be a girl and enjoy it, but that's just like the broiest movie. It's just like, I remember Dane Cook making the joke was like, you see Heat and you just like, you want to do that. You want to get a bunch of your friends like, let's rob a bank and everything. Like, so I remember that and I love Heat. And I think heist films are like, they're like the rom-com for guys where I feel like you know what you're going to get. And every once in a while you have those rom-coms that stick out. For me, something like An About Time or like A Crazy Stupid Lover, ones that stand out. But really most of you'll get probably... 20 rom-coms? They're pretty much the same, right? It's just
the same formula.
Yeah. Do you like this actress or actor? And that's why you see it, right? Because I want to see them do it. And I feel like that's the heist film for guys, or heist film for people that not even guys, just like action movies. So I feel like you get all those similar beats of like you get kind of the loose cannon guy.
Yeah.
You get the guy with the kid. You get the guy that is saying, I don't know if we should do this or whatnot. You got the leader, and you got kind of all the tropes. I think they do them in a fun way. They kind of change them up a little bit. I think there's one thread in particular I was interested in, and then they kind of end it really quickly, which I was surprised. And I think they're going for shock value. I think that's one thing this movie doesn't have, and I guess I didn't say I really liked it, but I think it was just a good, solid movie. It's not one that I would only recommend if you liked this type of genre. You know, like I know Dylan, and I don't know about Briggs, but I know like Dylan, not the biggest like just action guy. I wouldn't say you gotta see Triple Frontier. You know, like that's where I feel like if you look at a movie, I'm not sure if you've ever seen Ben Affleck's The Town.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's where I feel like that movie is like you have the heist, but then you have some really deep character moments. I think this has, I won't say surface level, but kind of like they're kind of like stereotypes, right, of characters, and they go a little bit deeper. But I think it's just if you like the actors. I love Ben Affleck. I watched this and I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and I was just saying I want goofy Affleck back, but I still like serious Affleck. So
I feel like we've had quite a bit of it though, like recently, even like going to like Batman vs Superman.
I'm gonna do IMDb because I feel like there was a shift where it happened and then he never came back to being goofy Affleck. And I like, of course, Oscar Isaac. I think they have some really good performances. The rest of the guys are good. I just feel like they're in it a lot less.
Yeah.
Not in a lot. Like, it's a heist movie, and that's what I actually like. It's a different type of heist movie where it's like they're in South America, and it's not a bank. I won't spoil it, but it just kind of has to do with the drug cartel. So I liked the setting of that. I don't know, did you ever play Kane and Lynch?
Yeah, a little bit.
It reminded me of that where it's kind of like this gritty, and almost like there's that one mission in not Hitman Absolution, but Hitman before that, where you have to go to this like wine cellar place, and there's like it's all this cartel, and you know, so I liked the setting of it. That was kind of fun for a different heist. And the other guys, they're always around, but definitely feels like it's more about Affleck and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah,
like you meet them right away.
Yeah.
It's all about them. I think there's some fun moments, but it's nothing I would recommend if you don't like this genre. It's not like The Town or The Heat, where I'd say this is a heist movie. If you gotta watch one, you gotta watch one of these. I think this is just a good watch. I think also it helps with it being on Netflix. If I was at the theaters, I'd be like, okay, that was an alright time. But with Netflix, it's like, well, it's only 2 hours. I'm already paying for this, so that helps. So I liked it. It was nice having a big action movie on Netflix too. So
that's a really good point though. Like if it was at the movie theater, you might have been a little let down. Like you're expecting more because you gotta leave the house, you gotta pay your ticket, you gotta get some snacks or whatever.
Yeah, and there's some good like scenery, but I don't think, like I said, there's not that heat moment where they're running down the street trying to get to the van. There's no. I think there's some fun moments, but there's no one scene where if we're even talking Golden Geeks, from like, oh, this scene I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a few moments, but really there's nothing like that stands out. Like this is great.
There's a few scenes I noticed. I won't mention it because I don't want to spoil anything. But it was they did a couple of interesting like cinematography shots. How it was all like one motion of the camera moving, but it kept going to like different guys in different areas of the house. I don't know if you caught that. That was pretty interesting. But like other than that, like there's nothing that really like stands out for me. But I also want to go back to how you mentioned The Town.
Yeah.
And like that movie, it was. Like I don't want to compare the two, but it was really really good, and then they had like a really interesting plot twist at the end because that's the one where like I don't know if I should spoil The Town, but
The Town came out in 2010, so it's 9 years ago. You're fine. If you don't want spoilers for The Town, tune out now.
So The Town is the one where they hide the money in the statue, right, at the family's house, or am I thinking of a different movie?
Is Blake Lively in your movie?
Because she was the wife in it, right?
She's his like kind of girlfriend. Jeremy Renner's in it. They wear those church masks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the I have not seen it all, so I can't. And John Hamm's in it, right? He's the cop. Then you could be right. Yeah. I can't tell you definitively where they hide the money. So you could be right.
The movie that I'm thinking of where it has that crazy plot twist. Yeah, exactly. Like there's no real like indication. Like they show the statue in the movie, but they're not like any like inclination of you thinking that it might be a major point of the movie. Whereas when you get to that like the revelation of what actually happened and how they used the statue, it's like, holy crap, that was insane. I didn't see that coming. Whereas this one, when they kind of lead to like the plot twist at the end, like at the very very end, like I feel like way before that, I'm like, well, I kind of know where this is kind of going.
And I feel like it's not even because it's like a generic heist movie. I feel like they foreshadow a lot of things. They'll say like, oh, what if we do this? It could go wrong. And they're like, okay. And then 20 minutes later, it goes wrong. And they do that almost like 3 separate times where the thing they kind of go, should we do this? Something bad could happen. Just do it. And it's like, it's kind of, and there's kind of some dumb character moments too where you're just like, that's what I'll wait to spoilers, but there's just certain characters that make certain decisions that because they don't really get followed up. They just feel dumb. Where at least you could maybe feel like if it was fleshed out a bit more or something happens in the plot. But really, it just feels like, and I get it. They do that. It's the height of the heist, right? Like everyone, the height of the heist.
The height of the heist.
Everyone's just like their adrenaline's going. They see all this money, but there's just certain moments like, like especially these guys. They're touted. They're not like heat where
like special ops guys.
Exactly.
Right?
They've worked for CIA or like they worked for governments before. Where heat, you can say they're the best of the best, but they're still just criminals, right? They may have some maybe detective or maybe some more background, but these are all people that used to do stuff for CIA undercover, and then there's a few things where it's just very sloppy, and I get it, but there's certain moments where, and I guess I could say this, where it's just this is a very minor spoiler, but there's a moment where they've decided on the amount they could take from this heist in the early on in the movie, right? And then later on, it's kind of alluded that they could get more, but the first amount they could get was still like a lot of money. It's not like it was a few grand then. It's like, man, $1 million. I'll give you the exact numbers. It was 75 million to 200 million. And that's where it's like, I understand, but there's a point where it's like, you'd still be getting 75 million 5 ways. And they kind of treated it at one moment with just like, oh, this is so much, which it is, but I won't get into spoilers why it's dumb they take the money. But it's like, and then they don't really follow up on that. They're just like, oh, they're dumb and they got caught in the moment. And like, that's where it's like a little generic.
Especially like if they're that elite special. Obviously they're retired. Obviously they're going through their own like personal issues. So there could be a little, but like, if you want to give it that much leeway, but like, come on, like, bottom line, like, I feel like almost like regular Joe could like.
Well, especially in this mission, they have a time to the wire. They're like, we got 15 seconds over,
so,
we gotta
like,
go.
Structured,
right? They're structured to a point, and then right when the plot doesn't need them to, they're fucking up left and right. They're just like go with the flow, and it's like and then they just like there's some lives that are taken. And you're just okay, like that's where it came in, just kind of like, that's what reminded me of Kane Lynch, where Kane Lynch was kind of like that, and then it was just, because you're just common criminals, it's a video game, you're running around, you can kill people, make these decisions, but in this movie, it's like, these are pros, they've timed everything out, they know what they're going for, and then once they see all this money, it's just like, I don't know, and not all of them, that's why it's not a spoiler, not all of them, but there's a few things where it was a little strange, so that's where it got a little weak, and that's where I think I liked the first half a lot better. I liked the meet cute of everybody. I liked seeing all their lives. And I think the actual heist and the things that lead up after the heist is really intense and some great tense moments. And it does slow down because it's more about getting back to America. But it slows really down and it never finds that pace.
Hits a wall.
And it never finds that pace again, where the first half is like, this is great. This is a really good heist movie. And then it just kind of I'd say limps towards, and they try, and there's even some big like set pieces at the end. Like there's a kind of a chase, but it never engages me the same way as it did the first half. So my answer for when he switched over, I bet, was probably around 2006, 2007, because he directed Gone Baby Gone, and then he directed The Town after. So I feel like once he became a director, he like Ben Affleck like calm down and stuff like that. Because I was looking, like, the only thing you could say that was kind of comedic he was in recently was he's just not that into you in 2009. But after that, like, that's when he did Clerks, but after that was like The Town, Argo, Runner, Gone Girl, Batman v Superman. So I say it's almost been about 10...
That's a
12 years since he's done anything like really comedic, and I would love that, especially because when I was watching James Silent Bob Strikes Back, he's like making jokes about like Ben Affleck the person, like renting prostitutes and all this stuff. And it's like, I feel like I'd never see him do that nowadays. You know, I feel like it's just so, you know, he'll like joke, but it's not like goofy Affleck. So I hope we see it one day again. You know, I'd love to see it, but
that's crazy how long it's been. Like, I didn't realize it was like over a decade. That's insane.
He's been, and so that's why it feels like for a while he's he's been serious Affleck. So
what was I gonna?
I think, and for me, music didn't stand out. I can't even remember it. I think it was kind of generic.
Yeah, they used a couple, like, I don't know, I guess I'd call them like hits that like everyone kind of picked up, like at the beginning when like Metallica's playing.
Yeah,
I was like
Fleetwood Mac in there.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I like those songs, so I kind of like hearing them.
Yeah,
but, like, it didn't make or break the movie for me.
Yeah,
just pretty generic. Going back to what you said about there are certain scenes that are happening that like they're super predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was getting to a point that it was like super predictable. That it was getting to a point where I was just I was like, okay, well, this is gonna happen. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, like I'm kind of shocked that it didn't happen. Like it kind of threw me for a loop just because it looked so like played out. Like I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, no, I'll just say it.
I think I know. Yeah, we'll get into spoilers here because I know what you're talking about. I think there's one obvious moment, but I don't know. It was a surprise, but I don't know if it was a surprise. It was a surprise in a good way because you didn't see it coming. but I don't think it worked for the rest of the movie because I feel like they're setting some up and they're going in a direction, and then that direction's cut off really quickly. And even though it was a surprise, I didn't see it coming, I almost was more interested in the direction they were kind of hinting at. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing, but
there's many of those moments that happen in this movie.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. So yeah, if you like this type of movie, I think we're both saying it's a good solid time, but it's nothing you need to see. I think there's other things out there you could invest your time in if you don't love them, or if you like these actors. I think the same thing. There's nothing. I think there's one character in particular that has a really good arc, and I think that's Oscar Isaac's character, and I think he's really good. I think everyone's good, but the rest of the characters I feel like are just kind of around doing their.
Yeah. They could have been written a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Oscar Isaac to kind of be like the forefront. I was expecting Ben. I mean, I guess he kind of like those two were kind of.
They kind of go back and forth.
They kind of back and forth, but I was expecting like. I don't know. I guess Ben Affleck is like the front runner, and then them all kind of being like that core. Whereas because it's such a good cast, like I like all those actors, I was expecting them to just be more fleshed out and stuff. So like Pedro Pascal, he's one of my I just love that guy. So he was kind of a weird like character.
He doesn't do much.
No, he doesn't do much.
He does a lot like in the heist, but like as far as like learning much about him, you don't really. Same as Charlie Hunnam, I feel like you learn a little bit more, and I can never pronounce that guy's last name. I think it's I'm gonna pull it up. But it's Garrett Hudland or something like that. That's guy actually I kind of wanted for Han Solo back in the day because he just kind of has like a good kind of mystique about him. But what is Hedlund? Hedlund. Hedlund, Garrett Hedlund, and then I'll probably hear an interview and it won't be that. It'll be like the H is silent. Eland. Yeah, he's I don't know, Jamaican or Russian or something.
No, but like I like that cast, but Oscar Isaac was definitely like the main guy. I felt like,
100%,
especially like at the beginning, like it's basically just following him as like a police in Mexico, right? A policeman in Mexico, and kind of like understanding why he has such a personal stake in like the whole heist in general.
And he's the one that puts together the team too. It's his idea. Yeah, and then
Ben, I don't even know like what his real title was. He's just kind of like the tactician, I guess. But he's kind of a loose gun.
With Affleck's character, they make sure he's really important, but they don't really specifically say why.
Oh, so. It was so funny.
Like they do, I guess we get into, but I'm a little still confused on that point.
It's not a spoiler or anything, but just like right at the beginning when he's just like selling houses, I'm like, I feel like this is like like Ben Affleck in real life.
he's like just, the way he's talking.
He's just like sounds so mopey and depressed, and he's just like selling houses. He's not selling anything. He's living in his ex-wife's garage.
Not Batman anymore.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny the way they. I guess it goes back to the point of what you said about like the first half of the movie. Like I was a lot more invested in it, and then it hit a point. It was funny too because I swear I paused the movie at like the point where it just totally switches. So I was like, I think I was on the phone, so now I'm like, yeah, watch this movie. It's like saying all these things that like hung out, and it was a completely different movie. And I was like, I feel like I turned on something else. But when we go into spoilers.
This is your last warning then. So if you want to watch this movie, but even then, I feel like you could listen to spoilers, and you can go watch the movie and still enjoy it because it's pretty basic. But 3, 2, 1. When you were talking about the certain way they were going in the surprise, was it when they killed off Affleck?
I was talking about that was the big one, but then the one I was really talking about was that didn't actually happen. I was expecting one of them to actually get killed in the house. Oh, okay. Because they kept hinting that they're like he must still be in the house. Like if the money's here, he has to be in the house. So I'm like, oh, one of them's gonna get offed or whatever. And then like I guess one of them gets shot.
Yeah, you get shot, but it doesn't really affect it for most.
No, I was expecting like somewhat like multiple people to be in the house, and like that's where everything hits the fan. But like that wasn't even really the point. Like they found their guy.
It was pretty easy except for the point that they got overzealous and whatnot. Before we get into Affleck, I want to get into the money, and like this is why it's kind of generic heist and foreshadowing because these guys, like we were saying in non-spoilers, they're tacticians. They know exactly what they're doing. And so they know this can make $75 million. I love the scene where they find out the house is a safe and they're breaking down all the walls. Cool. And then Affleck, to this point, has been, I'd say, because they almost make it seem like Oscar, because in every heist movie, there's going to be a loose cannon. There's going to be a guy who goes too far, he's going to kill someone, like Dane Cook says in that joke, he's like, his name's like Richter and you brought him on last day, and he's just starts killing random people. They don't get to that point, but still, Affleck ends up kind of being the loose cannon of the group, right? But that's what I liked at the beginning. They kind of make it look like Oscar might be that way because he's very forceful, he's very pushy, and
he's very passionate about getting Larea down because he's been in Mexico for 3 years and he's seen what this gang, like drug lord, like what he's doing to the country, and like his confidential informant that he kind of has a personal relation with.
Yeah,
like he understands that like she's directly being affected by it, so like people he cares about. So he has like real personal stake in it. So like I feel like overall he just wants to get Larea over the money, really.
But he also, to me, I felt like he was really aggressive. So I felt, to me, it's like, oh, if this mission starts to go haywire or something like that, it might be because of him, because he just wants to get this done real quickly. So I thought, if like innocents are gonna get killed, this and that, he's gonna be the guy to do it. And then where Ben Affleck at the beginning is very nonchalant, like maybe I'll do it, I'll come. So that's why I feel like they completely switched, because even I think that's the only real arc in this movie we get, where Oscar Isaac is like that at the beginning, where he's willing to do anything. But then the end, and it's a very subtle arc. I mean, it's a very small arc where he just goes from I'd kill anybody to get this mission done to he's shooting out tires, right? At the end, he's not killing anybody.
That is a good point.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he does change where it's like, even if he's not a bad guy, it did feel like he'll do anything, and now he's like, well, it's at a cost. Because there's that big moment where let's just go through all those kids, and then we're not going to do that. And then, which that I thought was very poorly done, because he's like, let's go through all of them. And then I think it's Charlie Hunnam, he pulls aside, we're not going to do that. And then he comes back and says, we're not going to do that. And then after that, he's a completely like new person, which is fine. He has the experience, so you can say this did change him. But it just happens very quick. It feels like he's just like headstrong, and then like, okay, let's not do anything. Even to the point where all the rest of the guys are like, kill these people, like shoot them, they're going to kill us. And he's like, no, I gotta take the tires out. But it's like, this is the time you can kill someone, you know? Like,
it's like, I'd rather sacrifice my friends than kill these, like,
your life's on the line. But that's what I liked at first, that, Oscar was kind of, I thought, going to be the loose cannon, and Affleck's the regular Joe. And then they switch it where Affleck's the one that he sees money, and all this money, he starts to lose it. But, like, that's where I lost it, because they had timed everything out. One, they go, hey, we got to hit this mark or we're going to be in trouble. And they're already, like, 15 seconds, over 15 minutes, something with 15. And Hunnam's like, we got to go, blah, blah. Yeah. And Affleck just so like, one more, though, one more. And you're like,
we don't even ruin the van.
So they show this shot, and I was like, where are they going to sit? And I forgot they had multiple vans. But at first I'm like, what are they going to do? I'm like, what are they going to do? So that's where, for me, I couldn't buy that, because it's like, I believe if Affleck didn't have a kid, I'd maybe understand that, but his life's on the line, and the idea is he's divorced, like you were talking about, he's down and out, and he needs this money. He wants to quit his job because he hates selling houses. So, like, he needs his money. So my idea is, if he wants to get back, help his family out, more specifically his daughter, he has to survive. So I found it very strange that, especially 75, let's say, because they had to split it 5 ways, right? What is that? Do you know?
And then they had to pay $3 million to the helicopter, and then certain amount to the boat driver, I don't remember.
And then there was like $2 million for the girl, but he gave her $3 million. Let's just say, after all, it was 65, right? Yeah, let's even take off 50. Let's say it was $60 million divided 5 ways. So he still gets $12 million. That's a pretty good haul.
It's a good retirement fund, right?
And yeah, I don't know where he's living in America, but I think with $12 million, you could, as long as you're not a big spender, you could probably pay off some, that girl, you're only have to pay support for her until she's 16. Get yourself a house. Maybe you can't get a fucking mansion, but you can get like a decent enough house, pay it off, and maybe you get some sort of side job, invest in stocks. I don't know. I even understood maybe if like we have 75, let's get 100 mil. But the problem was, so I had that, and then later on they just hit you over the head of like, oh, this plane, it's gonna be really heavy, and then they'll go to Pedro like, yeah, but we need that money. You think we can make it? And then he's like, we should be fine. And it's like, but you guys are the people that have mapped out this entire thing.
Especially Affleck. Like, he's the one that was so, like, detail-oriented. It's like...
The only way I'm doing this if it's perfect.
Yeah, like, if the family comes back, we're calling the whole mission off. It doesn't matter if we take no money, all these things. And then one more bag.
Yeah, and then he just completely turns, and that's it. Yeah, and that's what I hated, too. Even with the... Okay, so they said if you were to... Because their idea is they were taking a helicopter, and they're going to just have the duffel bags of money in a fishnet or chute where the helicopter's carrying them. So the idea of them saying $200 million, that's really heavy. Then I'd say, okay, let's take $100 million then. If you could be a little overweight, fine. But when they go to the point where they're a little worried they might be overweight, they still do it. I was like, that to me was too dumb. Where it's just that's where I would have liked if they weren't a CIA. If it was like Oscar Isaac with the CIA and he just knew a bunch of maybe like recluse or criminals, because they wanted. To me, I thought they wanted like to make the cake and eat it too. They wanted this is a perfect tactician movie, but then they wanted the like, oh, it's a heist, anything can go wrong. But that was the whole point of this movie, that these guys are the people that don't let it go wrong. Or it should go wrong for something like you said, one of them dies in the house and then all goes awry. But the heist went fine.
It went perfect.
It went perfect. It went better than perfect. They got to the helicopter. They got Oscar's like informant. Everything went according to plan. It was just them that screwed it up. Yeah. So that's what really frustrated me. Was kind of an eye roll. Like I was enjoying it, but still like, oh, we're kind of in like dumb territory. You know?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like the general idea of why they did that is because they didn't want it to just be like a perfect, like boring, I don't know, high school. Like everyone wins, but then the way that it went wrong, they could have written it so much better than just like, oh, I think we're good with it, like 200 million or however much they had.
Especially Pedro's. Well, they had 200 million. Yeah, that was too heavy on Pedro. They say is like, I don't want any other pilot. You're the perfect, because everyone's just like whatever they do, they're the best at it. So I feel like Pedro would be like, no, we're not gonna do it. Yeah. We can't even take. We said 75. We prepared the helicopter for 5. That's it. If we do it, we're gonna crash. But he was just kind of like, and I get it was the greed of money, but I just didn't buy that they got that greedy, you know. But
especially if they're so by the book, they're so professional. I agree with you. I didn't buy that, so that was definitely a big knockoff.
Yeah, and then what they do with Affleck, which I like, they were making him so he's loose cannon. The plane crashes, that was very tense. And when they land in that cocaine camp, that was all tense. So this stuff was dumb, but I felt it was tense. So I was liking that. And they make him. This guy pulls a knife on him. I'm really jumping ahead, but like he pulls a knife on him. He kills a bunch of the villagers. Even though they got mad at him, the guy did pull a knife on him. Maybe he didn't have to shoot like 5 of them. Yeah. He did he went a little trigger happy. But then what was strange is they did this, and then I knew he was going to get killed off because I thought, okay, he's going to be the guy that I don't know if he turns on them or screws up even more. But he's just a total. You can see he's just ascending into prick greediness.
Oh, yeah.
And then him and Oscar have one scene where they're just like, I'm sorry. And he's fine. And he's completely good. And then the next scene they kill him off. And that's how I knew he was going to get killed off because I thought they want you to feel bad about Affleck's death, right? Mm-hmm. So they have that scene with Oscar, but I felt it was kind of a cheat of like, he just did this, he kind of screwed up the team's mission. He killed, maybe not knife guy, but the other guy, he went a little trigger happy, maybe killed some innocent people or just some bystanders, and we're just supposed to be back on board with feeling bad for him because he apologized. Like I feel bad for the friends because they lost a friend, but it's like he was all bad, and then he said sorry, and then like okay, he's good, and then they kill him. And I thought they should have went with him being if they wanted him to get killed off, fine, but I don't think they had to try to make it sympathetic near the end. It was strange what they were doing. They couldn't same thing. They couldn't decide if they want him to be the asshole, the guy who felt bad because he had decide. Because I thought he was going to be the kid we got. I thought he'd be the guy like don't kill those people, or if a kid got killed, he'd be like, "What are you doing?" And they completely flipped it, which I was liking. But then they went back. They went back and forth too much time.
I 100% agree with you because at the beginning, like he's obviously down on his luck. He's trying to sell houses, not doing well. He's like, like they kind of hint at like the relationship that he has with his daughter, and like you kind of feel bad for the guy. It's just like you're kind of rooting for him. Like I want him to turn around, and then he's like, I'm gonna go to combat, but like I don't want to be in a conflict or anything. So like. Going into the mission, like I feel like he's the one that's like the less likely to go all batshit crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then
you want him to succeed the most because he's a kid.
Exactly. And then like as soon as he just gets his hand on the money, he's like one more load.
And
like that point,
come on.
Yeah, like he's just completely downhill. He's like, oh no, we got time. Like give buffer window, but it's like, why do you even have to? Like you already have so much money, and then obviously you can just blame it on like the money, like gets to their head or whatever, like the money greed. So okay, I'll give him that one, but then. He completely like screws over the mission by just taking way too much money. The plane like crashes. He kills everyone. Not everyone. I'm totally exaggerating.
I think like you said 5 or 6 like villagers.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
because for people if you're listening didn't see the movie where it crashes, the money falls. And they fall a little further. It falls where these people are making cocaine. The people that are making the growers just surround it. And they ask them to go back. They go back. And then one guy kind of pulls a knife to threaten Affleck, and he shoots him, which I thought was justified. I don't know if he had to kill him, but he could have kneecapped him. So he does that, and then he proceeds like shoot 6 other ones. So that's where it was like okay, but just to set that up for people if they didn't watch it.
No, exactly, and just that whole scene. But anyways, going back to
I like the scene after when Oscar had paid off the camp and everything like that. And
that was pretty good.
I think the setup of Affleck's killer was good. Of like that kid, you just could tell when he wouldn't let him pass. Like he's paid his debt. It's like this kid is not happy, and I feel like he's gonna come back later. And lo and behold, he headshots Ben Affleck later.
So so Ben Affleck kills the people in the village. Mm-hmm. What does he do? Is something. with the mules? He was like getting pissed off at someone for like.
Oh well, they just. I think at one point they just told him we need to stay focused, and he's like, "Well, what does that mean, stay focused?" And Oscar is like, "You know what that means?"
Yeah,
and he's like,
that's
"Oh, am I supposed to know what these mean?" It's just like whatever. Like they kind of all at some point are kind of. Not all, but specifically, I think Charlie Hunnam and Oscar Isaac are kind of taking shots at him. Not in a way of like trying to egg him on, just trying to say like you're trying. Well, they're hinting like you're losing your cool, and of course he just continues to lose his cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was before the cliff happened, where Charlie Hunnam he like stopped the mules. He's like, "Who shot first or whatever," right? And then like he's kind of like confronting Ben Affleck because he's just going crazy, and like he has zero sympathy for anything that happened. Like when they're leaving, he's like, "Sorry, dude." like the guy that just. He lost all of his buddies and
there was kids there, so we're assuming that some of these people lost their dads or parents, and he's just like,
and like he has a daughter, and like in the beginning, like you I don't know, I guess you could just write him off as kind of an alcoholic asshole because he doesn't, I don't know.
But he wasn't an asshole at the beginning though, you know, like we don't know how his marriage fell apart, and he seems like he's trying to connect with his daughter. He even didn't want to do this mission because he was just like, I'm done with that lifestyle, right? So it was and that's to me, if you're gonna do the whole kind of fallen hero thing, I think they should have went for it. But if you kill Affleck, that's all gone because all that development, because you could have had any one of those other characters if they wanted to get to the ending where they're all like giving their money. Because what happens is, so they complete the mission. There's a boat chase scene or something like that, which was fine. All the action was fine, nothing amazing enough they got to the tense point. But when they get to the very end, they lose all their money. They end up bringing back, I think, $5 million, I think, in total or something.
Yeah, it was like 1.6 each, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So they have this meeting with the lawyers, and then they all decide to give the money to Affleck and his daughter, right? But you could have easily done that with any other character having a kid and kill them off as well. Like, I'm pitching a whole different other movie, so I won't do that. But for me, it just didn't make sense as far. It was their friend, but I don't think they need. I think they could have gave them other obstacles. They could have even made it that those cocaine growers were more violent and they had to kill those people and whatnot. But they, like I said, I thought they didn't dive in both feet with Affleck's arc. They kind of wanted everything, and I don't know what the design of that was because at the end of the day, they just lost your friend. The whole movie, you're supposed to feel bad about Affleck going, and I do for them, but I don't because he was the one that made the mistakes, right? So I feel bad for his daughter and having dad, but he was an idiot, so I don't feel bad for him because, like, well, you kind of got what you deserve, you know? So it was a strange thing to do in a movie, or it's just like, I wasn't sympathetic at all to them or anybody because it's just like, even then, they should have sat down, like, we're not taking any more, we had a plan. They just all started acting stupid for the most part. I liked Oscar kind of having a arc and becoming a better person, but I felt very... quick, like we said, non-spoilers, so... Yeah,
Ben Affleck, his character was just so wishy-washy that it was hard to get invested in that character. Like,
and he was good, like, performance-wise,
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he was excellent selling those houses. Like, I totally bought it. He's just, like, a sad, like, divorced man.
Yeah.
He looks a little overweight, like the Ben Affleck bod.
Yeah.
So, but, like... I feel like I would just would have had so much more sympathy if they stuck to the first idea that they had with him, where he was just like, I don't want to like be in a firefight or anything. Like, I'm not going to the mission if there's going to be any fire. Like, I just want to plan it out. That's it. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. And then he even says like I can't risk it. Like, I have a daughter. Like, all these things. And then he just
risks it.
He just totally switches off. He's just killing everyone.
He's the riskiest one out of them. And especially because they even set up at the beginning, they're like, how many times have we seen money never taken it? But like, they set up that they all kind of are good and they have a good mindset, right? Yeah. And that's why, to me, if you don't do the bad guy twist, the ending's more powerful as far as he went there, he didn't really want to do it, but he wanted to do a better life for his daughter, and because of these unfortunate events, he got killed, but we lost a friend, let's give our money to him. Because at the end, they give the money to the daughter, and it's a weird way of working out, but it's like, it almost works out for Ben Affleck, because he's the one that screwed everything up, but even though he's dead, his family still gets all the money, you know? Like, if he didn't do any of this, you guys would be about, I don't know, $11 million richer, and your friend would be alive. So it was it was just strange. It was a weird way, it was a weird structure of the plot, and you could have just haven't been the good guy the whole time and still die, and that ending, I think, would mean more, because you wouldn't have this gray area of like, wow, Ben Affleck was kind of a dick in the middle of the movie. It's just like, oh, he's a guy trying to do right by his daughter, and he couldn't do it, but let's give him the money, you know?
Like, if he went out like a hero, like, it wasn't his whole his whole fault why the mission failed, right? Like, it's basically all on him.
Yeah.
And, but like, it would have meant so much more if he was the one just, like, being good the whole way, like, even if I know it's pitching a different movie, but like if he didn't even really kill anyone throughout the whole movie, and then he's forced to at the end, it's like a really intense gunfight, and then he gets shot, and then he just passes away.
And I think I would also be fine if they did the whole like dad thing, and then he does the turn in the movie. But I think they don't, and even with their friends, like we're talking about how it's Affleck's fault with the mission. I feel like they kind of dabble in the morality play, like I said with Oscar, like decide not to kill people. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you can do that in the movie where it's like really like black and white, and there's no, he did some shitty stuff, but he's still our friend. You can do the gray area. I just don't think they did any of that really well. Yeah. That was not the strength of this movie.
No, definitely not.
It was about I think the strength was honestly just the cast having fun in a heist movie, right? Because I don't think I think this movie doesn't do anything great. I think there's a lot of stuff good and like mediocre, but that was the thing. I think you can do that. Like you look at Tarantino's work, many times he tackles people that are, maybe sympathetic characters but are terrible people, but obviously he dives in and really fleshes them out, right? No one's really fleshed out on this. Even with Affleck, he's not really fleshed out, right? So.
And I just didn't like the whole wishy-washy with him. Like, I was invested in his character, and then it just hit a point that I was like, I just want this guy to die. Yeah. And like he went out in such a quick way. I was ooh. Like he was, it's not even like he bled out. Like he was out the second that guy pulled the trigger, right? Yeah. Just headshot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then the other character, like it's crazy that we're only really talking about Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac, but that was basically the movie.
I think so. Yeah. Pedro was the pilot.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Garrett's character was. He was just like I don't know. He was the guy that really, it seemed like he was going to be really anal about being the mission, doing the mission right, but that was only one scene. He just kind of felt like he was going to be the wild guy, but he didn't really do anything wild. He was he burned some money, okay, but at that point, they have $200 million, so they can burn. So that was a fun scene.
Yeah.
I guess Charlie Hunnam to me was kind of supposed to be the peacekeeper, but even then, it's I don't know. You're still in this mission, so there's I don't know. It
was interesting in the beginning too, because it starts off him telling that speech or whatever. He's just this is the life after being a warrior, a soldier, all these things, and then as soon as Oscar Isaac just comes and opposite, he's let's fucking do it. I'm down. I'm and
then in the end, he reverts back to we shouldn't have done this, and that because it's his idea to give Affleck the money, right? Yeah. So that I feel like all the people in this script. I don't know, obviously you read the script, but I feel like all of them got a character name, and they got, how our murder mystery is. You get 2 lines about them, and you have to make up from there. That's what this felt like. This felt like a heist murder mystery party, where it's and that's where it's because I did in the murder mystery sometimes, where let's have some fun with the character. That was Affleck's character, your sympathetic dad, and in the middle of the way, he's I'm just going to start being a dick, and that's where, and same thing, not same thing, but Pedro, he had no character, and then he was just...
He was some weird, Mexican cowboy.
Yeah, and he was a good pilot. Yeah. That's all he was. He was a pilot. He was saying pilot jargon. And at the end, he really won Oscar to kill people. He was why did you kill them? But I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, sorry, what's the last guy? Headland? Heedland?
Yeah, Edlund. Garrett Edlund, yeah.
Garrett Edlund. Yeah. I don't remember what his character was in the... Oh, it was Benny.
It was Ben, yeah.
And, that one scene when they go to his MMA fight, I love that scene so much because it's such a big build up. I'm this is gonna be an awesome fight, and it's just one punch, he just gets nailed in the face.
They didn't have the budget.
No, yeah, exactly. That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think I got anything else to say on this. Do you?
No, I was expecting more fleshed out characters with how awesome the cast was.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked seeing all those guys on the screen together.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't immaculate and well drawn out and well written. I like seeing them. So
for me, for a rating, I'm stuck between a 6.5 and a 7.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 6.57 or 6.75
in the middle there.
Yeah, right in the middle. Yeah. I think it's enjoyable. I think I was at a 7, but I think when we talked about it more, I kind of some more problems arose. I was right, that did happen, and that did happen. It is an enjoyable movie, but I think the other thing is I usually give a 6 or a 6.5 to movies that are good, but I'll likely never watch again. I always pass things the acting's good, writing's fine, things I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's a movie I'll never watch again. It's not. I think it's a movie if my dad or father-in-law or something like that was watching, I'd be okay, I could sit down, enjoy this, be on the phone, but I don't think I'm ever gonna have the craving. To me, a 7 is it's not one of my favorite movies, but I might be I may watch this again one day. 6.5 for me is kind of it's good enough, but I don't think I'll ever watch Triple Frontier again. So yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
that's a good rating system.
Yeah,
I think I'd ride on that. I'd probably go 6.5 because same thing when I came here, I was I enjoy myself. I'll probably give it a 7 or something. Yeah. Right? In my eyes, a 7 is just good.
Yeah.
A solid movie, whereas there was a few. Obviously, we mentioned all the issues, or not all of them.
Yeah.
But we mentioned a good amount of the issues. So yeah, I'd probably go with like 6.5.
Yeah, I think 6 is in the 6 range is like decent. I think.
Yeah, like it passed.
And then 5, I think 5 is just the word pass.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah,
just enough. Yeah.
Another one I wanted to quickly shout out is just like the character of Larea.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get the impression that he was like a cartel lord. I don't know if I'm just watching like too much Narcos or something, but like I don't know. He just felt like such like a piece of paper of a character. Like he well, they kill him off so quick too. Like he didn't get a big scene. No, exactly. Like, and it's like this is the guy that's basically running Mexico. Like he is the cartel lord, and he's just like hiding in the closet with himself.
Took him out real easy too. Like they this whole thing about the fans being gone at this point, but it's like you're telling me this place that is literally a safe money has no security around it. Like even security goes to church
on Sundays.
I didn't buy that. It was very easy. So.
I was pretty let down about. I don't know, like, obviously the main villain isn't Larea, like, it's kind of like the internal conflict, but, I don't know, I was just expecting more out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, that's our review for Triple Frontier. If you like this, go check it out, we got lots of good stuff. We got, like I said, a big newscast coming up. We got Us review next week.
That's right.
Week after that will be Dumbo. We got tons of reviews coming up. So thank you very much for tuning in. Subscribe, rate, and rescribe. Review down below. You have all the description in the detail. No, all the details in the script. I am doing like whatever when you read words back and forth.
Yeah.
What is that?
Dyslexia.
Yeah, I'm doing that with my words. I'm saying things. All the details are in the description where you can subscribe, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, anything like that. So thank you very much for tuning in. And hear from us next one. That'll be boring.
Peace.
Boom.